Welcome back to Deep Dive Radio. This whole video is made with Google Gemini and NotebookLM, so it can be inaccurate. All right, let's move on. Today we're taking a deep dive into Google Gemini Deep Research. It's a mouthful, I know, but trust me, this is some seriously next-level AI we're talking about.
You're not kidding. It's been generating a lot of buzz. And for good reason. It's not just another language model. It's being touted as a completely different breed of AI.
That's what caught my attention, too. So for our listeners who might be hearing about Gemini Deep Research for the first time, can you give us a quick breakdown? What is it and why is everyone so excited about it?
Think of it this way. Imagine you had a research assistant who could not only read and understand mountains of information, but also synthesize it, connect the dots, and even draw conclusions. That's essentially what Gemini Deep Research aims to do.
Okay, that sounds impressive.
Yeah.
But also a little intimidating. What makes Gemini Deep Research so different from, say, just using a regular search engine?
A regular search engine is like a librarian who points you to the right bookshelves. Gemini Deep Research is more like a research partner who dives into those books with you, analyzes the content, and helps you extract the most valuable insights.
I'm starting to see the difference. So it's not just about finding information. It's about understanding it on a deeper level. But let's get practical here. What can Gemini Deep Research actually do? Can you give our listeners some concrete examples?
Absolutely. One of the things that sets Gemini apart is its multimodality. Have you ever wished you could analyze an image or a video with the same depth as you can analyze text? That's what multimodality allows. Gemini can work with various types of information, text, images, audio, you name it, to understand a topic from different angles.
So it's not just about words on a page. You can actually understand the world through multiple senses like we do.
Exactly. Think about how much information we process through sight and sound. Now imagine having an AI that can do the same and then connect those different inputs to create a deeper understanding of a topic.
Okay, that's mind-blowing. So we've got this incredibly powerful AI that can understand information from various sources. But what does the deep research part actually entail? Does it just mean it's really good at using Google search?
That's a good question. It goes way beyond a simple Google search. Deep research refers to Gemini's ability to delve into complex topics, sifting through massive amounts of data from various sources. Think academic papers, news articles, books, even specialized databases. It can synthesize all of that information and present you with the key takeaways, connections, and even potential gaps in the existing knowledge.
Wow. So it's not just regurgitating information, it's actually analyzing it and drawing conclusions. That's what a real researcher does. Can you give us an example of what this deep dive research process might look like in practice? Let's say I'm interested in learning about, I don't know, the history of coffee.
Great example. Let's say you ask Gemini Deep Research about the history of coffee. It wouldn't just give you a list of websites or a Wikipedia summary. It could analyze historical documents, trade records, even scientific studies on the effects of caffeine. It could then present you with a timeline of coffee's journey, from its origins in Ethiopia to its global dominance today, highlighting key events, cultural influences, and even the evolution of coffee brewing methods.
That's incredible. It's like having a personal historian at your fingertips.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic here. We're talking about some pretty advanced capabilities. Is this something that our listeners can actually expect to use anytime soon? Or is this still science fiction territory?
It's understandable to be skeptical, but the truth is, Gemini Deep Research is already showing signs of what it can do. For example, it can generate different creative text formats, like poems, code scripts, musical pieces, emails, letters, etc. It can also answer your questions in an informative way, even if they are open-ended, challenging, or strange.
Okay, so I can ask Gemini to write me a sonnet about the history of coffee. That's pretty wild. But I'm also curious about its research capabilities. You mentioned it can answer complex questions. What sets it apart from other AI assistants in that regard?
It's all about the depth and breadth of its understanding. Remember, Gemini can process information from multiple sources, not just text. So if you ask it a question, it doesn't just give you a surface-level answer. It dives into the subject, connecting the dots between different pieces of information, and even considering different perspectives or interpretations.
So it's not just giving me a summary, it's giving me an analysis.
Precisely. And because it can process information beyond just text, it can even analyze things like trends in visual data or patterns in sound recordings. It can connect those insights with textual information to create a truly multidimensional understanding.
I'm definitely starting to see the power of this. But let's play devil's advocate for a moment. What about bias? We know that all data is inherently biased in some way. How does Gemini Deep Research deal with that?
That's a crucial question, and one that AI developers are grappling with constantly. It's important to remember that Gemini Deep Research is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It's up to us, the users, to be aware of potential biases and to use the information it provides critically.
So it's not a magic solution. It's more like a powerful lens that we can use to see the world in a new way.
Exactly. And as that lens becomes more powerful, we need to be even more careful about how we use it. It's important to question the information Gemini provides, to consider its sources, and to be aware of our own biases as we interpret the results.
That makes sense. It's like with any research, we can't just blindly accept the results. We need to think critically and evaluate the information for ourselves. But I'm still curious about the practical implications. What are some real-world examples of how Gemini Deep Research could be used?
The possibilities are practically endless. Think about how it could revolutionize education. Students could use it to delve into complex topics, explore different perspectives, and even get personalized learning recommendations based on their specific needs and interests.
Wow, that would transform the way we learn. It could make education so much more engaging and effective. What about other fields? Can you give us some examples outside of education?
Absolutely. Imagine scientists using Gemini Deep Research to analyze massive data sets, leading to breakthroughs in medicine, climate change research, or even space exploration. Journalists could use it to fact-check information, uncover hidden connections, and create more in-depth and nuanced reporting. Even artists could use it to explore new creative possibilities, drawing inspiration from different artistic styles and historical periods.
Okay, I'm officially sold. This sounds like something straight out of science fiction. But it's actually happening right now. But I have to ask the million-dollar question. When can we expect to actually get our hands on this amazing technology?
It's still early days, and Google is being very careful about rolling out Gemini Deep Research. They want to make sure it's used responsibly and ethically. But based on the progress they've made, it's safe to say that we can expect to see some exciting applications in the near future.
So while we can't all have our own personal AI research assistant just yet, it's definitely on the horizon. And that's pretty exciting. I know our listeners are probably just as eager as we are to see how this technology unfolds. But before we get too carried away, let's take a step back and consider the big picture. We've talked a lot about the capabilities of Gemini Deep Research. But what does it all mean? How will this technology impact our lives, our work, and our understanding of the world? That's the real question, isn't it? We've got this incredibly powerful tool at our disposal. But like any tool, it depends on how we use it. It has the potential to revolutionize the way we learn, research, and even create. But it also comes with a whole set of challenges and responsibilities.
Exactly. We've touched on bias already. But there are other concerns as well. For example, what happens when AI becomes so good at research that it surpasses human capabilities? Will it lead to new discoveries and innovations? Or will it make human researchers obsolete?
That's a thought-provoking question. It's like that old saying, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. But what happens when the AI can fish better than any human ever could?
It's uncharted territory. And it raises some fundamental questions about the role of humans in a world, increasingly driven by AI. Will we become passive consumers of information, relying on AI to do the heavy lifting? Or will we find new ways to collaborate with AI, leveraging its strengths, while still retaining our own unique human qualities?
It's a delicate balance, and it's something we need to be thinking about carefully as this technology develops. But I'm also curious about the potential benefits. You mentioned some exciting applications in education, science, and journalism. Could Gemini Deep Research also help us solve some of the world's biggest problems?
I believe it has the potential to do just that. Imagine using Gemini Deep Research to analyze climate data, identify patterns, and develop more effective solutions to combat climate change. Or using it to analyze medical research and accelerate the development of new cures for diseases.
So it's not just about making our lives easier or more efficient. It's about using this technology to make the world a better place. But let's be real, that's a lot of responsibility to put on a piece of software. How can we ensure that Gemini Deep Research is used ethically and for the benefit of all humanity, not just a select few?
That's the most important question of all. It requires a multifaceted approach, involving not just technologists, but also ethicists, policymakers, and the public at large. We need to establish clear guidelines for the development and use of AI, ensuring transparency, accountability, and fairness.
So it's not just about building a better AI, it's about building a better world with AI.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that AI is not a panacea, but a powerful tool that we need to use wisely and responsibly. It's about understanding that the future of AI is not predetermined, but something that we are all shaping through our choices and actions.
Well said. It's an exciting time to be witnessing these advancements, but it's also a time for reflection and careful consideration. We need to have open and honest conversations about the implications of AI and to work together to ensure that it serves humanity, not the other way around.
I couldn't agree more. The future of AI is not something that will just happen to us. It's something that we will create together.
And that's a pretty empowering thought, isn't it? We have the power to shape this technology, to guide its development, and to ensure that it's used for good. It's a big responsibility, but it's also an incredible opportunity.
Absolutely. It's a chance to redefine what's possible, to solve some of the world's biggest challenges, and to create a future that benefits all of humanity. But it all starts with awareness, with understanding the potential of AI and the responsibilities that come with it.
And that's what we've been trying to do today, to give our listeners a glimpse into the world of Gemini Deep Research, to explore its capabilities, and to start a conversation about its implications. We've only scratched the surface, but I hope it sparked your curiosity and gave you some food for thought.
Me too. And I hope it's inspired you to learn more, to ask questions, and to engage in this important conversation about the future of AI.
Well said. And on that note, we'd like to thank our listeners for joining us on this deep dive. It's been an incredible journey, and we can't wait to see what the future holds. Until next time, happy exploring.